Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and we're doing another week in the life of, because it's summertime and there is so much going on in the IronTrap world that we've decided to start doing a lot more of these week in the life of, because there's a lot of neat little things that happen that necessarily aren't worth their whole own video, so we like to show them in these. So last one we did, it was incredibly hot for this part of the country. It was in the mid and even almost got into the high 90s with like 70-80% humidity. It was very, very tropical, as much like Florida deals with all the time, but it was pretty hot, and it made it a little difficult, especially for driving the cars and stuff during the day. It was not very fun, so that was a little bit of a bummer. Cooled down a little bit finally this week. I think we're going to get a little bit cooler weather, and we have a bunch of stuff going on. Hopefully that'll help out with. So we got a bunch of stuff going in the shop. We're trying to get the, hopefully, if everything works out, the concrete's going to get poured for the new building this week, and who knows what else is going on. We've already started on Sunday getting some work done. It is summertime, and the kids are out of school, so my nephew has his little project vehicle here, and we helped him do he did his first patch panel, so he welded in a wheel well repair here all by himself. I just helped him kind of cut and fit it, and got it looking good and spray. But he's got a little Mercedes diesel swapped into this thing he's done himself, and it's going to be like his daily driver when he turns 16. So he's got that going on here in my shop this summer, and he's helping out around the shop. I'm starting to work on making, you guys saw in the one we did a little sneak peek in the last week in the life of, we got the Arden mounted in 33, so I'm going to start working on the firewall. So I'm using, believe it or not, Mike's car started off as the crappiest car we had on the property, and now I'm using it for a pattern to make parts for other crappy cars. So I'm using his original firewall that we put in there to make a pattern so I can copy the beads and how they are for the firewall, so I can sort of use them for a guide or replicate them a little bit for the firewall in the Arden. Steve is working on nut and bolt check and alignment and all that kind of stuff on the 38. As you guys might have saw, we did the first drive in this and had a couple little things we had to tweak and fix, which we've done, and he's just going over it and now making sure that nothing falls off when we take it on its first drive over 30 miles an hour. Yep. So we're doing all of that, and got to do a toe alignment on this thing. Evan's helping with, what are you working on? This flathead here? Yep. So we got this. Oh, cool. Yeah. So we got this old military flathead that we got that's like a military surplus at an estate. It's super cool. It's been all rebuilt. It's got all these neat stencils that were on it, and it's basically, from what we can tell, it's been rebuilt but never really run. Evan took the oil pan off, and he's got that all cleaned up with a new gasket, put a new front rope seal in it, but looked clean underneath. Yep. So now, did you say the camshaft? How'd the camshaft look on it?
Camshaft looks like it was barely used. Okay.
Yeah, so they might have put a brand new one in. Everything in the bottom end looked really good and new, just a little dirty from sitting. The one cylinder head was off of this when I found it, or loose, and we checked it, and it's got like staining from oil that I think sat in it, but it's not like it's been run. You could see where the lip where they used a ridge reamer when they took it apart and rebuilt it. So the plan for this is the black 32 Roadster, the Dorian Roadster. I put an old kind of tired race hot rod engine in it, and it is burning oil very badly, especially after I beat the shit out of it drag racing it. It got considerably worse. Surprise, surprise. Steve's over there laughing like, who would have thought? Beating the shit out of an old worn out hot rod engine, it would get worse. So we're going to take this engine, which is we got recently. We didn't have it when we put the other engine in. So the plan is to take this engine, run it in stock form on the run stand, and then we're going to swap the hot rod parts into this one. It's not quite as bored out as far or wild, but it really doesn't matter in that car. I just want to be able to drive it. So that's what we're doing. This is kind of the fun and not fun of this. But now that we got this engine, hopefully it's like a, almost new engine. So that'll be pretty cool to put that in there and have something that doesn't burn a quart of oil or 2 quarts of oil every 100 or 200 miles. So that's what we got going on. We'll see what else we find this week, and we'll take you on for a ride as always. how you transfer like the beads. All right, so Evan's got the engine all back together. He got the heads on and torqued down. He threw his spark plugs in and everything. We realized that this thing has, like, I think it's an 11-inch clutch. It's like the big truck clutch. So we're gonna have to do, I forgot to think of it, that we gotta take that clutch disc and all that stuff off and clean it. So we're gonna have to pull the pan one more time. But he cleaned all that up. We broke the drain plugs free where you can drain out the coolant, all that stuff. He threw a Petronics distributor on for the run stand. So we're pretty much all set up. So now we got to take this banger engine off the run stand. Mitch from Maine, he bought the ruined Roadster B engine from us, and I had seen him at the New England Drags, and he mentioned he might be interested in this engine. So got it running, told him about it, struck a deal, and he bought that banger from us. So we're getting this off the stand so Mike can get it palletized and shipped up to him. We just pulling the carburetors off so they're boxed separately, and we got to take the flywheel off because our buddy Chuck let us borrow that.
We have to save all the mounts for the next banger we put on here.
Yeah, we got all our custom made banger specialty mounts on it. But we'll get this unhooked, and then we could put the V8 on there and get it all set up and ready to fire it up and see if this thing's a good engine. Fingers crossed.
No, he said he wanted one. He said his dad took his back. I told him I had a cast iron one sitting at home. I don't use it. He said,
Alrighty, so we're here at the warehouse. Balmy 90-degree day again. Today we are working on this 4-cylinder engine that we pulled off of the run stand. I'm working on shipping it to Maine again, along with where we sent the other Banger engines. So today I'm working on palletizing it. Banger engines actually are a little easier to ship because you can position them in a way where they can't really fall over at all. So this is what we got going on. Got a fairly small pallet because they're not very large. I added one 2x4 to the front. I'm gonna add a second one here in the back. I'm gonna add another one here in the front to help stiffen up the pallet. And then I use these 4x4 uprights to catch right here on the flywheel cover. They'll sit right on this little lip, and I'll run 2 screws through each side to secure the motor. And then once I band it, will not move. I'll put a 2x4 under the front of the oil pan where the drain is, so you don't worry about the drain smashing into anything. Pulled the carbs off so they'll get boxed up. Just put on the pallet, and then I'll stuff rags down all the openings in the top, and the oil fill and the water neck and all that stuff, so nothing can get into the engine during transport. Band it, wrap it up, send it on its way. So I'm gonna get to work, screw these couple things down, then I'll show you guys the final art project when we're done. Simple as that. I always get a lot of questions how we ship engines. This is how I like to do it on all of them. On V8s, I do the same thing in the front. On the water pump, put a block in the back. But I mean, this thing is as solid as it gets. It'll survive the trip to Maine. Fan is in front of the pallet. Doesn't hang over the back. I will shrink wrap this. I need to get some rags, stuff in all the ports, box up the carbs, linkage and that kind of stuff, and I'll wedge it either on this side or over here, maybe over here behind all the banding, and tape it in so it can't fall out, and shrink wrap the crap out of it, send it on its way. So it's good to see this going to a good home. Yeah, just another day palletizing engines. I believe this is probably the last one we're going to ship out of here before we're in the new building. So keep working, get this all wrapped up and ready to ship.
All right, so Evan's been working on getting this engine going, and he's got everything pretty much hooked up. I didn't really do much. We just kind of set all this up. So we ended up swapping the intake because it had like an intake that was probably for some sort of like a machine or a generator or something. It had all these ports in it that were for extra stuff that we didn't need. So we just put this intake we use in the run stand, just a simple earlier aluminum intake. Got that on with the Holley carb. It's all rebuilt. Put the Petronix distributor, all that stuff on. Got our electric fuel pump with our sketchy gas can here, and we got fuel. So we're gonna see if this thing will fire, and then we're gonna do what we normally do: time it, see how long it takes to get to 200 degrees while it's idling. It's like 80 some degrees today, so it's a good test. And oil pressure, all that good stuff, and then we'll deem it a good engine or not. Fingers crossed that this one is good. Go ahead. That's ridiculous. Good job, buddy. All right, go ahead again.
It is a little bit smoky.
Wow.
All that oil in it, bud.
You're the winch man, you're in charge. The blown out tube has somehow hold air this whole time.
I don't know how. Good.
There you go. Oh, that string's way up there. Oh, there you go.
Should put some more angle on the ladder.
Yeah, we bought this 32 5 months ago, and Matt hasn't seen it since. It's been in my garage.
Oh, should have kept it.
I remembered it was there.
PA sticker on that one?
Yeah, 64.
That was on a 5-window coupe. Came out of a guy's garage. I bought this car brand new. Bought
Wow.
it brand new, and it was registered as a 33 because it sat for a year at a dealership.
Oh, and they, yeah, until they sold it.
Yep. Obviously got a new windshield frame, and it got chopped.
Yeah.
It sat in the garage here for 4 years, 3 years. My cousin.
Can't believe they pinstriped.
The bottom?
They must have just been for wall hangers.
No,
No, just a show car.
that car came from Massachusetts. It had a full chrome undercarriage, flathead, on-chopped sedan, pinstriped everything underneath, and it got sold to, I forget the guy's name, oh God, John Lucy. And John Lucy hacked the car. Cut the cross members out, put a small block Chevy in it, took the flathead, it had a flathead or a wide block, it was a really cool car. And destroyed it, and they came off of that car. And I got it, I figured out if I want to stand someday, I'm on a shot. But the whole car was pinstriped.
Yeah, it had to be something.
Well, with chrome undercarriage, it
Yeah.
makes sense. There's
Yeah.
probably mirrors and shit on
It was, I tell you what, the car was beautiful, it was black, and under the fenders were red.
Oh, that's
the,
cool.
the car was gorgeous, it was a beautiful car, and chrome. It was just black, red, and chrome, you didn't get much better.
And that's the raised Roadster?
Nope, that's Ernie's Roadster.
Oh, that's Ernie's Roadster.
It's identical to mine, they both got channel same exact time, that's Dick Willow. That's the one that sits in the chicken coop. That's the car.
All right, so it is Friday. We've had a crazy week. Mike, Evan, and myself went to visit our buddy Ed and pick up a bunch of stuff that he is consigning, so we went and did that. We also got the big red truck, and Evan and I brought this 32.5 window that we kind of forgot we had. That was stashed at our satellite garage, aka Mike's house. And
You still have to pay me for storage fees.
yeah. So yeah, wait, your storage fees are right here.
Damn it.
Years of storage fees.
Bad timing.
So yeah, we got to pull this off. Unfortunately, the famous tire with the giant bubble in it we left the car sit outside all day yesterday while we went to Ed's, and we came back and it was, it's hard to see, but it is totally ripped.
It finally blew. It sat in my garage for, what, 6 months with a bulge?
But it never sat in the heat.
The garage
So,
gets pretty warm, it's just the sun did it in, I think.
so we had to swap another junky tire wheel onto it for now.
We hot rodded it already.
Yeah, so we're gonna get this off and get it in the new building. First thing going in the new building. We're on the very border of being able to put stuff in it with the concrete curing, but I think we're totally fine. So we're put that in, maybe put it on some plywood just to spread the load for the weekend. But we're gonna get that done. Steve's working on this engine here, and we got an education like we always do that there's different, back in the day, there was different type of lifters. So do you have that Johnson one kicking her? So I had grabbed, so the lifters that were in the other engine, we found one of them was, the adjuster was messed up and it was loosening itself out. So we were like, we'll leave the tappets in that, we'll put another set we had kicking around. So I had these from they were in an engine with a pot fin 3/8 cam that I took apart. And they're a different brand, I've never seen that style before, but we were gonna go ahead and use them. And then Steve went to put them in and started adjusting the lash, and
There was none.
there was no lash. So we got a spare Johnson out and found out that there actually is a different height. So we're guessing that these ones were maybe for regrind cams to make up for the, usually the lifter ends up being down in the bore and it's hard to adjust. That's the only thing we can think of. So I had a spare Johnson in my stash of stuff that is a good, lightly used one, no wear on it. Clean that up and we'll put that in with all the other Johnsons. Got a NOS Winfield cam that we put in this one. I think it's a Winfield 3/4. That's what we put in the green 32 Roadster, and it has a good sound, good response, good street engine. I just opted for this engine was a little more of a aggressive engine, and it had like a 400 lift cam. So we're this is a semi-temporary thing for this car. So for now, a good street engine out of this pretty much almost stock bore. It's 30 over, but stock valves, all that stuff. We thought it'd be a good combo. So Steve's in flathead hell again, or heaven, depending on what you're into.
I like this stuff.
Depends on the week.
Depends on the week. Luckily these engines aren't too stuck or anything, but so this thing's apart. That'll be an upcoming video. And Mike and Evan, I'm going away for the weekend, so
The boss finally gets a vacation.
yeah, Kate and I are going hiking, so you guys are gonna run and
So we're gonna go to Glick's to pick up pallet racking that we need. We need some uprights and a few crossbars, and then we'll bring them back and then go to the warehouse and get all of our crossbars that I took down, and we're gonna start putting them up. We're gonna work on just building the structure, because eventually we have to build the mezzanine. So the big thing is just getting uprights stood up so we can figure out what we need for material for mezz.
okay. And Evan's been working on, what have you been working on, Evan? You got,
This is the other backside of the truck.
so Evan got this one side I talked about done, and he kind of on his own this week. I barely helped him at all. He got this side, may even try and finish it today, but he got this other one tacked in. He started stitch welding and ran out of time the other day. So maybe later today he'll get some time to finish weld that, but he's gonna have this other bedside arch repair done, and then we can start pulling dents. So a lot of progress this week. Hopefully this won't be damaged. Actually, we'll be able to pass right at the end. Considering if the building's not.
Did you talk to the excavator yet about that?
Yeah, I called him yesterday and he said about 2 weeks till he get over here.
2 weeks.
I'm not that bothered about that. We can still work on getting it done. The grading would be nice to be done, but he wants to come and do one more shot.
Right.
Well, actually 2 more. He's got to grade, dig the hole, inspect it, and fill everything. He's got 2 more days.
Watch.
As long as we can keep on this side of the house. Come back. You can put that under it.
All right, so crazy week. We got a lot done. A lot got done by others. We got our concrete in. Ran to New York to grab some stuff for consignment. We're starting to move on the new building, which is really exciting. Got the 32.5 window back home, so I can at least stare at it, even though I'm not going to work on it for a while, which is always nice. Even just to look at it's pretty cool. So that's pretty much all we have for this week. Kate and I are going to run to Watkins Glen and Ithaca to do some hiking, because haven't done enough this week, and you guys are going to finish up in the new building doing some power racking and stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed another crazy week of IronTrap, and let us know what you think down below in the comments. Thanks guys, see you later.